What is going on, everybody? It is Monday, already September 2nd, Labor Day vacation for some of you guys, not for all of you. I was in the gym this morning. It was completely empty. So that was actually very nice for me, but I always find that funny because the gym still opens at 5 a.m. So I'm like, man, you guys are taking your Labor Day weekend very serious. A lot of people sleeping in, just hanging out. What about you, Gary? What are you up to today?
It's a new form of calorie burning, bro. You sleep in and you say, hey, Siri, it's Labor Day, right? I get the day off from all labor. I don't know.
Labor Day is today.
Oh, hell.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, Siri, shut the fuck up and stop listening to me. You were not given permission to do that.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. But I can't believe it's already September. The year's really gone by, and it's probably gone by so quickly just because of everything going on in the news constantly.
Well, I thought it was because you came into my life, and then my life is so exciting and so, celebrity filled, joyful moments of everything that the time just came and went, just like.
Well, you know what's interesting, Gary, is actually since working with you, and I don't know if it's because of how often we go live and like going live every day, but it has gone by quick. Like the weeks go by quick, and then just the amount of stuff that you and I do. Even I was thinking about this actually over the weekend, just maintaining the Rolodex. Like every time we go to a conference and we meet new people, but then it's like new people into the Rolodex. Then I still have to maintain the old amount of people and just constant following up. It does. It keeps me very busy. More like because my network has now expanded so much. Maintaining that network is harder than I feel like growing the network because you're always thinking, okay, did we ever talk to that guy? Oh, I didn't. Okay, time to follow up, schedule a call. So to me, it's actually really fun. And we actually, after we get off this, I'll update you because we have some cool, I got us some meetings, hopefully this week or next that I know we've been trying to get, which should be neat. But
it's Labor Day, man. It's Labor Day. You can't talk to me today about any labor.
Yeah, that's right. No work at all. Well, speaking of work, I wanted to talk about one of your recent tweets because we've talked about games before. And you actually have on Twitter.
Before you do that. Bitcoin has today, just on this Labor Day, it bounced to 57,143. Got just crushed out. I'm on a 2-hour chart, and now it's bounced back to the 200-day average. It went and smashed the 200-day average, which was 58,558. So it's bounced from 57,160, $1,500 in 4 hours, 2 hours, man. In fact, it's done $3,000 in since Sunday night at 2 p.m. It's gone from 58 down to 57.1, back to 58 in 24 hours. It's a beast.
You said it broke the 200-day average? Is that
no, it went. Here, I'll pop it up for you.
Yeah. Share it. I'll bring it up.
Let's see. Where are we at? Present. All right.
There you go.
The markets are closed today, right?
But Bitcoin never closes.
Yeah, but I've got this on Clean Spark. Why is that so big? I've got this on Clean Spark. Oh, there it is. Can you see?
I really enjoyed. I think it was last Thursday when we were doing a Spaces. I mean, maybe the audience probably got bored, but having those miners, those people who are trading mining stocks, talk about all the different miners.
You like that, huh?
I probably learned more about the intricacies of these mining companies in that 3-hour space than I've learned in the past 6 months. Like I was just absorbing all that. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, the reason that is that now you're starting to understand, what goes into the production side of making Bitcoin? What's the capital cost, the debt structure? Hey, what's electricity costs? How does this happen? Once you go through the whole value chain, you'll begin to, it really becomes very fascinating. And just a reminder, okay, just because you farm, that's what a miner is. Just because you farm, you're not guaranteed a profit. It is the riskiest part of the entire value chain is the producer. And it carries the most risk, and I think it carries the least return. So I've always been like, I don't think I want to get on the production side of Bitcoin because I've never wanted to be on the production side of any of these commodities. They do not have to make money. Okay, you're not protected, especially in a market that's got supply and demand metrics, and you're very, very competitive. So anyway, here's the chart. This is a 4-hour chart, and you can see, let's see, I can't see. I've got to go do this on a different one. You can see right here, this was Sunday at about 8 o'clock, looks like. Wick down pretty hard, big red candle from 58 down to 57.2. Okay, then went and tested 57.1. This is again on Sunday, Monday midnight. It started the market. Okay, wick down right here. Didn't like the 57.1, and it's bounced all the way back to 58.5. So Bitcoin's doing whatever it's doing. The broader markets are closed today, so we'll see. Talking about some of the miners. Let me just show you this one. CleanSpark, after the close Friday, I believe it was the close, announced that it was doing a special offering, a new allocation of authorized shares, I think is the way they called it. Anyway, it spooked the market a bit. Good thing is the market was closed, but the market was selling off. It'll be very interesting tomorrow morning to see what CleanSpark does because the CEO came out and clarified what they were doing. A whole vote needs to take place. They bought an airplane or something and got some bad PR. Nonetheless, we'll see what happens to the miners on Tuesday, tomorrow, as the markets. Because remember, just because Bitcoin's open all day, this is a public company traded on the NASDAQ, I believe. So that market will not be open today. So anyway, there's not a lot of big news on the chart to discuss. So,
how long term are you with CleanSpark, and like what is your selling price?
Well, I just bought it last week. I gotta praise my bank, which I bitch about people sometimes, especially when they're big and slow. I put an order in, said, "Hey, buy CleanSpark X volume at 1074 or better," and they picked it up at 1062. I didn't even see a print at 1062. Have no idea how they did that. Probably did it off the market. It was a chunk. I don't think it was that big of a chunk, but so how long will I hold that? I mean, CleanSpark. I'll go look at the chart here if you want. But CleanSpark. Yeah, now somebody, while I'm pulling this up, people in the audience can go, "I thought this guy was a Bitcoiner." Well, I am. Okay, first off, they make Bitcoin. Right? They mine Bitcoin to make it available. And two, I could not deploy this particular capital. Can you see that, nobody? Can you see it?
Yes.
I could not deploy this particular capital into Bitcoin. I just couldn't do it. Okay, it's sitting in a bank.
So you bought last week, you said?
Yeah. Let me just roll this chart out for you, though. This is a let's go do 1 day chart. So this stock has seen $146, right? That's the high. And the low is $1. That low was, get rid of this stuff. Come on, don't upgrade. Stop it. That low was March of 2020, I believe. Here we are, December 22, we're at $1.85. And back here, November 23, almost a year ago, CleanSpark was at 376. You can see it really moves. Okay. I mean, it makes some very aggressive 388 up to $13. Okay. I mean, you really need to understand, like, so they're very, there's a lot of volatility here. Where was I going?
Well, so maybe
if this thing went to about, like, this thing is going to go back to 18. Okay, so it's $10. I bought it at 10.62. It's going to go back right up here and test this level right in here. It's going to, you know, if it went back to 7, if it went to 17, dude, and I picked it up at 10 in 3 or 4 months, would I sell it? Like, I'd be tempted to, like, you know, because it's gonna fight this, right? This is gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Now, once it gets through that, goes 30. So, how long would I hold it? Probably not much more than a year. And I wonder if I can pull something up that I saw this weekend.
What, and remind me, what made you buy CleanSpark?
Well, their production cost, they control everything. First off, they're an all green play, and I own 3 other miners. So I had to think, do I want to buy more iron? Do I want to buy more Cypher? Or do I want to buy more Wolf? And I was like, hey, CleanSpark, you know, let's see if I can find this information. They seem to have a pretty good balance sheet, and I think they might be. Oh, here we go. Perfect, man. Now, how do I show? Can you? What do you see right now?
Oh, I see CleanSpark, but if it's a new tab, just go to the top of where you see, and there should be a share this tab button.
I gotta share that particular tab. That's right. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry for, let's see, I want to share a different button. No,
Chipman says, Gary, check out the CleanSpark chart. It ranges between here and $20, mostly between 16 and 20. Sell at 20, buy again at 16.
Yeah, you see?
Yeah, but that's a taxable event, though.
Well, it is a taxable event, but look at the way this. Why can't I give you this? Screen sharing was canceled. Why can't I give you this? This is a cool.
Just go down and click present again, and then present the tab that you're looking at.
Oh, I know why. It's in my photos. I'm gonna send it to the. Why can't I show?
If you want, email it to me, and I can post it.
It's a summary of the. It's a summary of the all the miners. Copy.
Oh, okay, like a market analysis.
Yeah, it's actually very. You know, it's a really good. Let's see if that'll work. Why don't you fill up some airtime while I'm trying to get this to you? And then,
sure.
So I mean, so just the audience isn't watching me be an idiot.
No. No, you're good. I mean, part of this is just because of how much I've gotten interested in miners now. And I haven't bought any. I still just buy Bitcoin, but I find it a really fascinating market. I also find it interesting. I find it interesting how you said the producers often have the highest risk and the lowest return. You didn't say exactly that, but it's kind of what like the gist that I got from what you said.
Yep.
And my immediate thought was, who would ever want to go into production then, right? Like, if you can have more upside and less risk, why is anyone at all in production? Oh, okay, I just got it. I can post this.
Yeah, well, because you're going to find that the founders built a company, probably have stock at $50 million, and now they're worth $2 billion. So just because they don't make money doesn't mean the management team didn't get rich.
Aha. Okay, so it's from an investment.
Motivation, my friend, to be minor.
Yeah,
get very big multiple.
From an investor point of view, you might not want to be invested in a producer, but if you're running the company, production can make you tons of money. So that's the difference. Is running and being like a founder in production as opposed to just investing in production.
Yeah, well, people probably, private equity guys probably look at me and go, man, why does that guy keep building and investing in operating companies? What do? They just invest in companies, man. No operational headache. So they probably look at me and go, you're an idiot, dude. They deploy money. They don't have to work on the weekends usually. It's all paperwork. They don't get sued often. So, everybody has their expertise in the value chain. I mean, these guys might be engineers. They might be energy players. They might have had some farm equipment given to them. They may have come from the data center, and so they had a little bit of an edge. Or the guys at Iron, I think, came from Google. So, it really depends on who's, what those people's background are. But just because and by the way, just because the company's not making money doesn't mean the shareholders aren't making money.
Yeah.
Right. Which is indicative of that chart that I sent you. Shows you balance sheets of Bitfarm, Cypher, Clean Spark, Core Scientific, Iron, Mara, Riot, and TeraWulf. Total outstanding shares is at the very bottom. And this was the issue with Clean Spark. It was talking about releasing a whole new set of shares. Miners do something called an ATM at the money. ATM at the money market. Basically, they can sell stock in the market. They don't have to declare it up front, and they're doing it to raise money. Normally, in a stock market offering, you come out and you issue new shares. The miners do something called an ATM, and most all of them have tapped it. This is a very interesting, summary of who's playing, what their total debt is, what their assets are, how much cash they have on the balance sheet. I mean, you'll see, Riot's got $688 million of cash and cash equivalents. Probably some of that's a bunch of Bitcoin. And there's a good example. Okay. Riot's worth $1 billion market cap. There'll be guys that had shares in that company and options that are worth 10x minus that, right? So, there'll be there's a lot of money being made here in the management teams, whether these are long-term jobs or not. Long-term careers, we'll see.
And so you own 4 miners. So you own out of these.
Cypher, number 2 on this board. Clean Spark, which I just added. Iron, and TeraWulf. TeraWulf's an all clean play. 3 of these companies are completely isolated. They basically do everything, right? They own the equipment, they own the balance sheet, they own the debt, and they own the acreage and any of the equipment. Whereas Mara Mara took the Marathon, which is the biggest miner, took the strategy to what was called in the energy space asset light, which will prove to be a massive, massive mistake. Asset light means intelligence light. Because you need the equipment to understand what's going on in the power grid and the natural gas grid. I mean, it's very, very productive to have a position. And what Mara's done, unlike TeraWulf and CleanSpark, is they have bought a contract, they've leased some land, they did a joint venture with XYZ, whereas TeraWulf's going to own everything. They're going to own the property, they're going to own the facilities. There's not going to be a joint venture to get in a disagreement over, or somebody drops it. Like anywhere in the supply chain where there could be a breakdown, when you're a third party waiting on a vendor, which is what Mara's basically set up a strategy to have its finger in a lot of pies, which is, it's a strategy. I don't think in energy it works. So these are energy companies at the end, because you lose the intel, you lose control. Look, when power, I've seen states steal energy. Like if natural gas is flying through Nevada, okay, headed to California, and somebody in Nevada needs it, they're going to steal it. Remember, it's got to get there. It's transport. It's got to get transported there. Somebody's going to say, hey, I'm going to pull that off the tap, and I'm taking it. In a marketplace that is begging for something, that variable unit, there's a lot of games played. So there'll be logistical issues that, certain of these miners take advantage of. And then, for instance, one of these companies I own, I think it was Iron, blew a hole in one of its months because it was either long or short power. And I've been saying this. I'm like, oh, these guys are getting in the trading business now. They're going to get crushed because they're like, electricity is violent. So they blew a hole in either a quarter or a month. And now their strategy is, okay, I'm going to just buy everything spot. FYI, wrong reactionary decision, man. That's not the right. Like, just going straight to spot for power is pretty scary. So we'll see. We'll see who does well here. This is going to be about who's the best management team, who can raise the most money, who knows how to use Bitcoin on its balance sheet, who doesn't get trapped in a trading position. I maintain most of these miners are call options or put options for the utility, and that in fact these companies are not trading electricity. They are call or put options to the utility, who knows far more about electricity and natural gas than they do. So anyway, this is not the only chart or information you would look at. I thought this was really interesting. I'm trying to consolidate all this information in one place right now.
Am I correct in seeing that Core Scientific doesn't look too good because it has negative net assets and a high amount of debt compared to all the others?
Core is actually, I think Core is probably going to be an interesting company. They're a data play. They came out of bankruptcy. That's why those numbers are really twisted.
Okay.
And I don't know enough about those numbers right now to be able to drill through them. That's why I said this is one report. It's not the all in all report. Like, see what I'd be interested in is, hey, what is the cost for you to mine Bitcoin? And I don't have that at my fingertip, but Mara is going to be in the 62,000. Iron and CleanSpark and TeraWulf will be in the 42 to 52,000. There's 3 miners, I think, in the money right now. Everybody else is blowing a hole in their P&L every day. So every day the price is at 52. It's 58. It's creating a lot of pain in the market. Very typical post-halving. Very typical.
Yeah, I wonder if whoever comes out on top in the next 6 months buys another one of the miners.
I think they're probably in play right now. Wouldn't surprise me if we didn't get you can pop off that screen. It's going to get boring. People can print it or whatever. Wouldn't surprise me if we didn't hear a deal. In fact, I heard a CEO last night say, "Hey, I can only say so much because we're active. We're live right now in a process. It's what it's called, live in a process." Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, I wish I had. You've convinced me. Yeah, you've convinced me to take the go get the silver Friday. And
yeah, we're doing that. Awesome.
Yeah, I need to call the guy up. But I think I've got three. What did I say? How much? 300 and.
I have the number somewhere. I can tell
it's about 600 grand's worth of silver, 700 grand's worth of silver. I'll keep maybe $70,000 of it.
Why would you keep any?
Emergency, buddy.
Emergency
power goes out. Man, silver's silver's not going to be like. Actually, would probably keep it if I didn't really think Bitcoin was going to rock and roll. I probably should keep that amount. But look, I'll buy. What did I say? It was worth 600 grand. Probably that's how many Bitcoin is that? That's 10 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So not many people can just go smash 10 Bitcoin. So maybe that'll be worth, who knows, one day. If Saylor's right, it'll be worth $430 million.
But getting rid of silver and buying Bitcoin would be part of a consolidation strategy, right?
I wouldn't put it that way. I think I just don't think silver is going to serve the future as well as Bitcoin would serve. And it's heavy to move, dude. You can see how problematic it is to move.
Yeah.
It's I just don't, and I don't need that much. I probably got carried away. I know it's unlike me to get carried away, but I most certainly get carried away, by the way. In fact, everyone I know that's ever been successful, they're very boring people, except in about 4 areas. And then they're just insanely stupid. They don't care about anything else but these 3 or 4 things, man. I have so many bills stacking up since Becca's gone. I'm like, oh, that's a ticket? Yeah, that's a bill. Shit, man. I'll do it tomorrow. And Sam's really good about this. He's like, well, let's do it right now, Gary. And I have no answer to give you either. I'm like, oh, no, I want to be a retard, dude. It's Labor Day, bitch. It's Labor Day. So these things do go on in my mind. I am aware of what you're doing to me.
Yeah. Good. Well, someone's proposing the inverse in the comments to our silver discussion. They said, why not level the Bitcoin and purchase silver? Or why not leverage the Bitcoin as an asset and purchase gold or silver? But to me, I don't understand why you would do that, because gold and silver are never going to make you a better return than Bitcoin. If anything, wouldn't you want to use silver as collateral and then buy Bitcoin with that, if anything? If not just selling it, why would you leverage Bitcoin to buy silver or gold?
I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't really get it. I just sell it for fiat and buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And maybe buy some food too. I think buying some food probably is not a bad idea.
I want to talk to you about, I'll bring it up on stage just because we've talked about games before. And I always like that game analogy.
We got plenty of games to talk about. Hey, Macron, what are the odds of Macron getting fucking slaughtered, dude? Look, I got to tell you, I would feel like my 12.8 Bitcoin that went to Trump was worth it if Macron gets what's it called? He's going to impeach. They're not going to impeach him, are they? Do
well, is he hosting another election or something early? I mean, they can do all kinds of things, but France has a very
strong what I'm talking
presidency. About? No, I don't.
Oh, dude, they're talking about Macron. Like there's a vote in Parliament to get rid of him. They're pissed off, dude. Oh, hey, listen, I'm telling you, buddy, we're in the last 66 days of the moment. We are here. This is it. Okay. Like I know nobody wants to admit that this is it, but this is the 66 days that are going to be like, it's all happening right now.
Okay. The far left French election winners are set to initiate impeachment proceedings against President Emmanuel Macron for failing to appoint a far left prime minister. If Macron is impeached, Marine Le Pen will likely become the next president of France. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Now, and then you got the shit going on in Brazil. See, you have a lot of fractures. People need to pay attention. I pay attention to like, oh, wow, look, there's a rip in those jeans. There's another rip. Okay. Think of a pair of jeans as the fabric of the last 50 years. We put this thing around the entire world economy and politics and cultures, and it's grown for 50, 60 years. It went in the ditch. It went on the highways. It changed. It had some different bed partners. And what do we wake up in 2024 and we're like, oh, wow, look, there's shit falling out of that back pocket. Turkey's decided to play with the U.S. and it wants a little action into the BRICS, which is I've been saying for so long, dude. If I'm right on Turkey puts Bitcoin on its balance sheet this year. They're piggy in the middle, most certainly.
Yeah.
If I'm Turkey, dude, I'm like, fucking hell, these people are crazy. Crazy. I am absolutely smack dab in the middle of this shit. And BRICS is step one, Bitcoin. You have Macron slapping Telegram. That's what this revolt's about right here. It's not about like all of it, right? You have Elon now is violating Brazilian law. You have Charles Hoskinson coming out saying, hey, he's going to build a social media thing that's decentralized and can't be taken over by state governments. That may be his pivot. Most certainly there'll be a few of these guys, hopefully the Jack Darcy's of the world, who maybe didn't do it perfectly last time. I hope they're building stuff, dude.
Yeah.
China is building. Russia is getting ready to release their own Starlink. Did you see that?
No.
It's game on, baby. Game on. Hey, I got 2 dogs in there. They're trying to steal a bunch of bacon and shit. Hang tight 1 second.
Yeah, you're good.
I hear them in there. They're trying to be like, but pots and pans are falling down. Hang tight.
No, you're good. Go do what you got to do, Gary. What I find interesting is the fact that, like, what you have to think, why would Russia build their own Starlink? By the way, what's funny about Russia building their own Starlink is obviously how are they going to get there? How are they going to ship them into space? Traditionally, they were using or sharing with us some of those spaceports. So now they have to do it on their own, which comes on the back of, by the way, I don't know if you guys saw that we still have astronauts stuck in space thanks to beautiful Boeing, which I think is crazy. And I don't know if you guys saw some of the recordings that these astronauts heard of different solar winds. So like, oh, that's cool. So the astronauts stuck in space because of Boeing are about to witness a horror movie. So that kind of sucks. To Gary's point about Turkey being in the middle, I saw the news today that Turkey has officially asked to join BRICS, which is very interesting because Turkey's always been a player both sides, even though they're a NATO member, but they're not in the EU. They've tried to get in the EU, and that's been a big sticking point and something that they've been angry about. They're in between the two financial systems. They're very geopolitically strategic. So it's their ball game to lose, I think. I think it is out of necessity that they're going to have to invest in something like Bitcoin. But Russia doing their own Starlink, I think, is going to be wild, especially, I mean, the big issue, remember when I think Elon for a time was allowing Ukraine to use Starlink. I don't know if he still is. I think he still might be. But Russia was saying, hey, Elon, we might be shooting some of your satellites out of the out of space, right? And I think this is after Elon tweeted that about 90% of all space internet is going to be coming from Starlink, right? So the dude has a complete monopoly on that industry, which I find very interesting. But I guess that it helps when you also own the rocket company that gets the satellites where they need to go. Oh, you're muted. Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, but when do we start now having events? Space boundary events.
Yeah.
Okay. Like when do we go kinetic there if we haven't already gone? Oh, by the way, wasn't the dogs, man. The dogs are in here with me. It was Bobby. Bobby's back.
Oh, okay.
My housekeeper, who's been with me for 17 years, literally goes away for 2 weeks a year to Mexico. She's the illegal. She came over here when she was 15 years old. Do not tell me illegal immigrants aren't good for this country, okay? They are if they get legal. Okay, she went through the legal process. She came over here like a little child, 15 years old, terrified out of her mind. Who knows what happened to her, dude? And now, probably 25 years later, she's worked for me for 17 years. Her son goes to private school. Just graduated with A's from private school.
Wow.
That's a great story, man, for America. See? That's a freaking great story. And she's honest as the day is long, dude. She told me she wasn't coming here to tomorrow, and she came here tonight. She came here today because she's like, oh, Gary needs me. I'm not sleeping anyway. Gary's house is a train wreck. Even you were looking at me going, hey, where's Bobby, man? When's Bobby coming back? I'm like, yeah. Like, everybody likes Bobby here.
I was thinking, I was like, has Gary, really? I thought, I was like, has Gary been eating? Because I don't see your turkey sandwich. I'm like, and I didn't put two and two together, man, until I came back. I was like, geez, I hope Gary's actually not like starving or anything.
Yeah. No, I can just go, I had to go get groceries because the kids were here. I'm like, let's go get some food. So anyway, we're way off point.
Yeah, let's talk about, I just want to briefly touch over something you tweeted. You tweeted Monopoly board. It says, imagine playing Monopoly and never buying any assets or investments that generate income. Imagine you just went around collecting $200, giving your money to the rich and trying to stay out of jail. This is how most people live their life. And then you commented, those that you thought protected you allowed the most sophisticated monopoly structure in human history. Few break free. Could you give a little bit more detail on kind of what you meant by that statement? Because I find it very fascinating. And I think I know what you're talking about. My assumption is you're talking about how, the people in power have let the market consolidate, right? And now it's very hard to escape the rat race. But what was in your mind when you said that? I'm very interested.
Well, for me, it's far worse than just that it's consolidated. And what does that consolidation look like? It's not the big oil. Big oil doesn't scare me because, quite frankly, the top 10 oil companies in the United States, what you think are big oil, like they're not big oil, dude. Big sovereign oil is big oil, and ExxonMobil doesn't make the top 10. So we have a market there that, for the most part, and people will gripe about it. The Bitcoiners will say, well, the crude market, the energy markets, like most big markets have 40% player is going to be isolated in a group. The problem I have with, and who are we talking about? Let's just go ahead and call it spade a spade, okay? It's either groups of people or constructs. And the construct in this case would be, how do you justify Visa, MasterCard owning 76% of all the plastic? Okay? All the plastic in the United States and Europe. And they make a pretty hefty fee for that. Never been successful getting the fees down. Okay, and then they're not just the only ones. Okay, these are big constructs that feeds Swift. These are companies that have, on a periodic basis called countries up and clipped their ability to take credit card transactions. So now Visa, MasterCard, anytime they hit a button and they say, hey, Russians can't use this credit card, is this a public company now or are they a state actor? See, this is my problem. When Google and Meta, who, by the way, I'm not even liable for being libel or slander, Mr. Zuckerberg admitted that they pushed the COVID stuff and that they pushed the election, right? And probably January 6th, and they manipulated the data. If you manipulated the data, then you clearly must have had an agenda. Okay, it appears there was an agenda. There was also $400 million of payments from him and his wife. That you just can't make this stuff up now, right? You can't say, hey, Reid Hoffman, you can't go on TV and just claim that you gave so much money away that you didn't know what those groups were investing in. Like, I thought you were Mr. ESG, Mr. Care about the world, dude. Maybe you should do some due diligence on your investments. Okay, so there's Meta, Google, social media. Now, this is my problem. JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America. Okay, this is my problem. Every one of the firms I just spoke of have paid the Department of Justice massive amounts of money in the hundreds and billions of dollars in fines and fees on a multiple number of events. At some point, dude, is this now the game? If you could come back up with your little Monopoly board, is this now a game where as long as you pay for your jail time, no matter what the crime is, $1 billion, that you're allowed to become really, really big? Okay, and this is my problem with this. Okay, in that, like, the legal system is completely out of control. When you have large corporations continuing to settle big class action suits, DOJ suits, SEC, FTC. This is why I really want to take my hat off to Coinbase, Brian Armstrong, and I've done a lot of business with those guys. I actually need to talk to them. But I took my hat off to them as to their investment in legal actions, which little guys like me can't take successfully. I can only fight the SEC so many times. Okay, they have an unlimited budget.
Yeah.
I find it bizarre that multiple companies can continue to pay these big fines and then continue to operate as if nothing happened. Mark Zuckerberg's Meta, he admitted to committing pretty gross, like he basically was working for the U.S. government, from what I heard him say. Okay, and what did his stock price do? Can we just review what his stock price did in the last month? Because, dude, I've never seen a company that, they have a announcement like that in the stock. I mean, would you agree with me that if you can pull my screen up now, would you agree with me that his presentation minimally suggests that he's going to have a class action suit from somebody? Is that fair?
I think it's very fair. And I would assume his stock price plummeted.
No, dude. Well, look what his stock price did. Okay, this is since this is the beginning of the year. Okay, he announced this about what, August the 15th. His stock price hasn't done shit, dude. It's $522. You see the chart?
Yeah. It looks like it's still on an uptrend.
Yeah.
Or if not, leveling off.
Like, it happened right here. Okay, right in here. So his stock, when did that happen? The S&P went up 1% when Israel and Palestine first lit the first powder keg. Okay, these are not normal things. Okay, I don't know what to say. I don't even know what to say to this. Okay, he said that they fixed a fucking campaign, didn't he? Or am I really embellishing that? Is it very difficult for me to say Mark Zuckerberg said, "Hey, we definitely played with shit, and I regret doing it"?
His wording was bland, but you can read the tea leaves because he essentially said we were forced, coerced.
Minimally, there'll be questions, there'll be lawsuits, and there will be legal questions made from subpoenas. Most certainly, subpoenas are going to happen. Once the subpoena happens, the records happen. Once the records start showing up, they either lie or it comes out. So,
yeah,
dude, like I know my sister took a vaccine. She watches Facebook. Okay, Facebook was pushing it. Instagram has a high coincidence with their teenagers, especially females, of being like feeling grossly insecure, and they know it. They know it. Okay, dude, the class actions. There's just no way these. So as soon as the letters start showing, the emails start showing, the CIA gets a, notice of public. What's the term for it? Free Information Act.
Oh, Freedom of Information Act. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have to now. Then look. He said, "Hey, look, the Biden administration and Kamala coerced me." Jeez, dude.
Yeah, but no big market reaction, right?
Yeah. No, that's
so why do you think the investors don't care? They're not so are the investors not worried about a lawsuit then?
Wouldn't they want to sell off? Like the return, dude. Look, Joe Domestic doesn't invest in the stock market anymore. Okay. The first off, most investors invest in the funds. They don't invest in individual stocks, and it's the big equity players and it's the banks that are owning Visa. See, this is why I said the monopoly system, because inside that monopoly board, you're just in the board like a hamster.
Yeah.
You never get out. Why don't you get out? Because you can't buy Bitcoin. You can't buy an apartment building, right? Because even if you could buy the apartment building, these are such big deals now that you don't get the phone call. But you don't even have the money. You don't have the banking lines. You don't have the banking relationships. You don't have the credit lines. So big, and there's a reason that big, I think it's big is really cool. But when you have big and you have multi-billion-dollar fines, hundreds of millions of dollars of fines, and their stock price doesn't even do anything. JP Morgan Chase, $250 million. Poof. Well, got that over with. Nobody cares anymore. No one cares.
It's just the cost of doing business to them, I guess.
I think, yeah. I mean, it's a monopoly. Dude, it may be a cost of doing business, but like you understand that's just organized crime, right? I mean, you will never build a Visa. Visa will never have any competition. Okay, MasterCard, like that is not going to happen. Now they may decay. They may go the way of IBM. The difference between Visa and MasterCard and IBM is that MasterCard and Visa buy everything they can possibly buy. You watch what they're going to do in this space. As long as this is a cool opportunity for them too, because the regulator is probably not going to be looking at Visa and the crypto industry going, oh, they have a monopoly position already. So they could squeak in and do some really interesting deals.
Do you think Visa and
the cool thing is they can lose $2 billion on deals and just feather them into the company and nobody even knows it.
Do you think Visa and MasterCard understand the market enough to play around? Like, do they understand what's going to happen to them and they'll get ahead
They
of
understand the market better than crypto bros do. Dude, they understand they have a piece of everything. I mean, they sit on the boards of all these companies, fraud companies, payment companies, ISO, not the ISOs, but they're so stuck in every piece of the value chain. They do consulting. They make millions and millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars on consulting. What is consulting? See, this is the other thing. They shouldn't be allowed to do that shit. Consulting arm comes in. Hey, you guys have some fraud here. By the way, we have some fraud tools. Hey, now that we saw everything in your underwear, by the way, we have a diaper to sell you. And you either pay the incremental fee of having dirty underwear or you buy our diapers. And if you buy the diapers, then we don't mind if you have a little shitty processing. That's uncool, okay? Because you literally have a company that's like looking inside all your crap and charging you top dollar for it. They just get big, man. And then they become ineffective, okay? Because they're so big. So I've never had, just to say that Visa, you're never going to build a Visa doesn't mean that you can't compete with Visa. Like I made a lot of money competing with them, but it doesn't make it right. It still means, hey, look, you still only have 2.5 credit card companies in the United States and Europe. You have one in China. Ask Visa and MasterCard how much progress they've made in China.
Because the Chinese won't let them.
And they never will. See, this is the other thing. Hey, Visa and MasterCard probably are never going to be global players. What? Truly global. Why? I mean, they are already, but because the shit they do, they turn people off. They turn Russia off. They turn Latvia off. They turn whoever the U.S. government tells them to turn off. Bitcoin's never going to respond to that coercion from the United States or Russia or China. That's a very different risk assessment. You know, I say unkind things about Visa and MasterCard's duopoly position, and guess what? I don't have any of their credit cards. You want to know why I'm so aggressive on them? I don't have your cards, dude. They can't turn anything off on me. I never use those cards. I mean, they'd give me a 30 of them, I think. Now, my boys, American Express, you know, I like them. They're awesome. But they deal with corporates. You can't file a bunch of chargebacks on American Express. They just won't allow it. They're like, no, fuck off, dude. Not doing that to us. Because they're the same guy, see? You file a chargeback against American Express, it's American Express. There's no Visa, MasterCard, Barclays to give it to. So and American Express has always been the corporate guy, right? He focused, and he focuses a little bit on the higher end of the market. Now, there's also, when I say there's no competition, there's Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, Bitcoin, Google. You can pay Google if you want. Google is a payment company. Apple Pay is a payment company. See, when are these companies now? Oh, wow, you're a payment company and you're a social media company. Amazon's going to be in a pharmaceutical business. So they're going to be in the medical business. So when does the data become so like, whoa, we know this guy's a little anxious. He goes on Twitter. He probably needs some Prozac. He should most certainly not own a gun because he's been prone to smoke marijuana every now and then. I mean, they'll just start tying all these connections. I don't think this is sustainable. I don't think you can have 4 companies serving the entire planet, which is where we're headed. That's why I said, hey, it's not sustainable, right? Like, sustainable, what does that mean? Well, when does it stop? Now, the other problem is, who else is going to buy these companies? I mean, what if Elon wouldn't have bought X, man? What if the government would have said, no, Elon, you can't buy that. It's too much. You can't launch rockets and do all this other stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, Elon shareholders were like, don't do that shit, dude. You got plenty of things to do now. Actually, that was a good move that he did. Very good move.
It looked very risky when he first did it. I remember going back and forth. Oh, it didn't go through. Oh, now it went through. Immediately fired, I think, 75% of the staff.
Well, let's be clear. At $44 billion, I would have invested in it right then and that day. I thought it was like, whoa, because immediately I was like, I'd pay $20. I had never been on Twitter. See, for me, it was like, oh, if it's free, I ain't going. I mean, you've seen me never get on Facebook. I know you want me to, but I'm like, fuck it. You try to get me to go on TikTok, and I'm like, make a robot and let them do it for me. I'm not doing that. Instagram, fuck it. It's owned by Meta. Like, I am not going to fight to do business with any of these people. They've taken down my account 3 times. Cool, dude. I'll go hang out with X. I am not going to betray this cat, just like I am not going to betray Trump. He's sticking his neck out, dude. I don't see anybody else getting shot. Okay. Oh, yeah, Gary's going to run for president. Fuck that, dude. Okay. I like my ear, man. Okay. Even if I would have set it up, I like my ear. Don't fuck with my ears. I mean, they were expecting the entire side of it, entire face to be just smashed with a bullet, dude. You recognize that, right? CNN never goes to these shows. They expected the back of his head to blow out of his skull. And I say that because people need to understand that no one expected Donald Trump to walk away at 6:15 on a Saturday night 7 weeks ago. No one. And they're pissed off about it. You can tell they didn't know, because they're running around with their heads cut off right now, dude. They have no plan B, C, or D. They're so arrogant. They had no plan B, C, or D. They didn't even think about all these cell phones during that day capturing some of this shit. Dude, what is wrong with these people? They are crazy, man. Okay, can you imagine that, dude? Can you imagine one of my children being so oblivious to social media and cameras that they would commit crimes just right there in front? And you would say, wow, Gary raised a bunch of idiots. Not just that they were criminals, but like, bro, also pretty stupid, right?
Yeah.
Or just massively arrogant, or all 3 of the above. As soon as he was shot, I wasn't surprised, man. I was like, oh yeah, here we go again. What shocked me was 12 minutes later what Bitcoin did. And I was like, whoa, everybody just got it. It moved like $2,500. Saturday afternoon, I'm like, if you don't figure it out now, and it kept going. If you haven't figured out why Bitcoin's great, Brazil, France, wherever that place was in America, let's call it the United States of America, whatever that little town was, represents everywhere America. We have King Charles probably on his deathbed taking another $54 million in pay, while his entire monarchy comes under scrutiny because of the Epstein shit. You have London imploding. You have Ireland, the Irish. Was it the Protestants and the Catholics who fought each other for 200 years? Neighbors are rolling over like little sheep to a bunch of illegal immigrants that have flooded certain counties of their locale. Don't give me this fucking A. It's only 2, 3, 4, 5, 7%. Yeah, it's 7, 8%, dude. And they go to 4 counties. It's a problem. Okay, tribes do this. I was part of the Italian tribe. We came over. We got into groups. We didn't hang out with a bunch of Jewish people, dude. We didn't hang out with a bunch of white Anglos from Texas. We hung out with other Dagos. Right? Food, language, culture, belief system, kind of our ethics. I mean, we believed in organized activities and had a set of rules around it, right?
Well, now you see what's going on with, I mean, we mentioned at the beginning, but adding on to Ireland and the UK, now you have the fracturing of all these large organizations like NATO, like the EU as a whole. Everything that was built post 1945 is essentially cracking and breaking apart.
I think everything that was put together prior to the past 4 years is going to fall apart. It's that staggering, and that none of these relationships were thinking 20 years out. Hey, what's going to happen? Okay, there is no assimilation going on. You can say everything you want about immigration. We can sit there and complain all we want. It must be planned across the world, because no one is even attempting to have people communicating on the same level basis, legal or illegal, dude. There's no attempt for assimilation. That means they want this. Johnny Winter made a song once back in the 70s, 80s, and it was like what was the line? It was like fire spreading, like fire across the prison floor. It just feels like chaos is just, they want the chaos to just fly out there. This is a martial law play. The more I look at this, Sam, I'm like, okay, London's getting, dude, they're going to shut it down. Yeah, it's got 20 days. It can't last 20 days like this. It's getting worse. Okay, you don't flick shit on your neighbors on Monday and think it's going to go away on Tuesday. There's more flicking of shit. Then there's, I'm going to go grab that trash can, throw it through the window. And then the guy comes back and says, oh, really? You did that? I'm going to burn your fucking church down. Oh, really? I'm going to fucking terrorize an entire school system. It just, because there's no resolution to
spirals. Yeah.
There's no one. There's not even any cops to stop this shit. Wake up. Okay? They must want to COVID 190, add a zero to it, and really turbocharge it. They've missed twice with us, guys. They missed on COVID. Half of us are still alive. And hopefully we don't have parasites that are going to blow our brains out. I mean, quite frankly, I'm sad for people that got vaccinated, but I have no idea what they put in your system. It could literally, they could put a code or a frequency on it tomorrow morning. Guys could all become geniuses or not. But like, I'm just looking around going, okay, London's got to get shut down. Germany, Ireland. Oh my God, man. They just burned in, was it Germany, a 424-year-old church.
Really? Wow.
Okay. There's 1,000-year-old churches that are going to just be destroyed here, dude. This is history. And no one cares. People that are coming in don't care. Okay. So we're going through a revolution but no one's, it's a bizarre revolution, because there's a whole group of people that are, it's almost like it's America coming to, I mean, the Brits are, people are coming to America and then looking at the Indians and just like, fuck off, dude. We're going to kill your ass. And now we're like, oh yeah, we've been around here forever. We forget to tell the story. We were immigrants. We migrated here legally and illegally. And then we destroyed anything that was local here. Okay. And it's happening to us now. Woo! Yippee. Okay. I don't know how you calm it down until you calm it down, but you have to make a decision to calm it down. And why would Brazil do this right now, dude? Why would France do this? Are they trying to say, hey, you be careful. You be careful what you say there, young man. If we can do it to Elon, if we can do it to Telegram CEO, billionaire, with 3 passports, man. 3 passports. And then Turkey pops up. Like, I know, oh, Gary, too big of a segue. Turkey. No, everything on the chessboards you should be paying attention to. Multiple level of chessboards, most certainly. There's a report getting ready to come out on Gates. Have you heard this, dude?
No.
See, this is the other thing. I pray to the Holy Trinity that there's just enough of us that are willing to really go out of our way to say, at least to say, okay, we tried. Like, I'll go down going, okay, I tried, man. I really gave it my best effort. There are so many people coming out of the woodwork now with reports saying, hey, you're next, dude. I'm going to reveal you. I really hope this is that moment. And I also hope that we don't get too carried away with our puritanical. Sometimes, people that are right can go really batty being right and then become evil.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, like,
yeah,
I've seen purists turn into animals. We need to correct the situation for sure. I'm not sure how we correct it, but man, if we just have, 1-2% of us that come out of the woodwork that go, okay, I'm going to spend the next 10 years of my life building an education system that's fair, or, Charles, dude, build a social media. This is exciting. If we get some true champions, and we should be able to do it, dude. We must have at least 500 extremely wealthy people and capable people around the world that don't need anything from anyone. You would think some of us could come together, and it doesn't have to be a one-man show, dude. We are fighting countries, and they're evil motherfuckers. Okay. We're not really fighting countries. We actually have the whole countries behind us, but we're fighting a few little, parasites, who are also extremely wealthy and well connected. So we couldn't have possibly come this far to just all lay down if I can get slammed in the house, dude. I can't believe that. Okay. We've come this far to just end up here. But it is 65 days. Hey, in fact, let's do this. Okay. Can we start doing a countdown to November the 5th? Because I think that's all the time I'm going to have on the space. Like, I think I will, like, when's November the 5th? Is that like 64 days or something? I think if we're still alive, then we might have a little business here.
63 days.
We should have a countdown clock. Gary Cardone dies in 63 days, or he is a free man. Something like that. But I do think that it's imminent. It can't go past that, right? Let's say Trump gets assassinated tomorrow morning and the Democrats win in 63 days. I guess we'd still have an election, right? Would Vance run?
Yeah, he would. Vance would run, and then probably RFK would be his vice president, if not the inverse. RFK would probably take it over, and then Vance would be his VP.
Wow.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, we got
depressing, ain't it, dude?
Yeah. Well,
depressing.
No, it's real.
It is
depressing
real. Depressing
to me is not the right word, but it's just where we are. It's real.
Do you think I'm being overly dramatic?
No.
With the 63 days.
I think things are going to continue to heat up because that's the pivotal moment, right? And everything that happens from now until the election day is because of the election, right? Every decision every politician's making, anything anyone's doing around the world, they know, well, I'm going to do it now because I don't know what's going to happen in 63 days. So now's the time to do it. So everything gets ramped up. And then in 63 days, they figure out, okay, is the U.S. going to be different or the same? And then they're going to have to recorrect. So I think it's very, very fair statements. Well, we're at 110. We have a Twitter Spaces this evening. What do you want to talk about on the Twitter Spaces? We're going to have Chris Inks with us, talk about the markets a little bit.
Let's look at some of these comments. Somebody wants me to run for president. Never do.
There you go.
No, like, oh my God. Hey, somebody reached out to me today, though, asked me, hey, what role would you want? We'll start working on that. I don't know what the answer is. I think my answer is, look, if somebody wants me to help them, let me know. I'll go anywhere. That's got to be the right answer to the boss man, right? Oh, wow. We have people that will just allocate me, sir. Ready for duty.
Yep.
That's what I think, dude. Sir, I am ready for the toughest fucking job you have. Thank you very much. And sir, please stay out of my way while I get rid of some of these scumballs. You can blame me later.
That's right. Let's see.
Oh, I can't even do any of this. I can't hit. I like hitting the buttons and showing.
Oh, which ones do you want me to hit? What are you looking at?
I'm just looking at them now. I love the comments, guys. The comments make me happy. Ride is one of the highest cost. Oh, this is A1 saying it's one of the highest costs. It's over $100K to profit from some info I've seen. Blah blah. There's just a bunch of comments on Will Martinell says throw out Macron. For sure, dude. He is scum. Okay. You understand why I wouldn't fly to France right now, right, dude? Like first time in my life, okay? I should be able to say someone's president is scum and not worry about flying into France, dude. I have no felonies, okay? I'm not taking anything from those people. Why can't I say something like that? Okay, and Joanna, you say, hey, why doesn't Elon go to the rescue? Elon can't do all this by himself, guys. No. It's not possible, okay? He will die one day. We have to grow a spine. I mean, Elon, I am here to help you, sir. Like, point me in the right direction. I'll ask you less questions and I will take action. This is the point I wanted to make. We were talking about Elon paying $44 billion, which he wrote down to 22, I think. CNN just took a $10 billion write down. So did Elon pay too much?
That's a good question. Yeah, fair point.
$1.25 billion, dude. Okay, you're going to destroy all of them. CNN, Fox, all of them go, dude. The View. Those creatures. Okay. Somebody called me Friday, said, hey, would you go on The View? I went, fuck The View, dude. I wouldn't go on The View if you paid me $1 million. Not a chance. Okay. Somebody asked me, what do I think? I don't know what Bitcoin's going to do here. I think it's going to shake out the weak hands. We're so close. I think we're going to shake out the weak hands here, and we seem to be doing a great job of it. Whoever the heck's selling at 55, 58.5, I don't get it. This is the price, though, that I did believe it would kind of play around this level. Could go play with a 55. I wish it would hurry up and get it out of the way. I don't really care if it goes to 52. If it does, I have a bid at 52 and one at 55. I wish it would take a little bit longer so I could get a little bit more capital out of the fiat market and deploy it. And I think that's one of the issues here. We have a Bitcoin industry that basically is either fully invested, or they've invested in a bunch of bullshit altcoins they can't move over because they're underwater. But or they have some leverage. I don't think there's a lot more money that came from this indigenous market that's really going to help the Bitcoin price. Now, this is supply and demand from the ETFs, and the halving and the halving reduction in volume. The miners most certainly are selling because they have to. But other than that, and other than that, everything can go wrong. Okay, S&P gets dumped, Bitcoin gets dumped, NASDAQ, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's just a lot going on in this world right now that this is probably the riskiest time to be in Bitcoin, you know, just through this period. But the truth is, it's probably risky everywhere. Period. Risky everywhere, right? If I was flying into Brazil right now, I'd be like, hey, am I going to get an extra pat down here? You know, I mean, and the rules, I would just leave you this, right? What happens in this world when we have technology where a plane is flying over, say, South America, and it's using technology like Starlink and X, and then it flies over Brazilian airspace? Now, did I just violate some felony, some federal law that I didn't like? And how's this enforced? And how does the user know? And you know where this is going, guys? This is going where, hey, we have one social network and everyone joins it, and there's all the same rules, and it's controlled by the global elite company, GEC, Global Elite Company, or Global Elite Corporation, or Global Elite Country, call it whatever you want. Or we end up with a bunch of decentralized, open, safe, free markets. Those are the options. They are the options. They're China, or they're what we were building here, engineering the social experiment over the last 200 years. Or what are we going to do? We're going to go into prisons and have the global elite corporation feed us oatmeal every morning for lunch, dinner, and breakfast? Or are we going to be able to, you know, enjoy the fruits of our labor and our production, our creativity? I think makes us a tad bit different than an amoeba. I actually have an imagination. I am conscious of your being there. I'm conscious of myself being there and something else being here that's magical. And yet I'm being told I can't express myself. I can't actually put myself into using all this technology to better myself for greater education and knowledge and understanding, which makes me freer and more productive member of society. Is that what I'm being told I can't do? If so, then I think we all just have to decide what kind of world do we want. Me, I'd rather have 20 years of fucking fighting, okay, for the next 100 years of freedom. And we have had literally, I think we've had close to 70 years of pretty easy freedom. I think we have to actually grow some muscle and start to fight back for it. So I will say one more thing. And the first step to that fight is being nice to another human being, even if you don't like them. Okay. So the job today is to find someone who is different than you in skin color, sex, or age, and you do something nice for them. Okay. You do something nice for them. And Sam, how are you going? Is this exercise proven to be valuable to you at all?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Even if it's like small things, if it's easiest to do something nice for people you're close with, like in proximity. So the grocery store and eating out is most of the time where I'm like, okay, how can I like treat someone in the grocery store nicer, or help someone with a card or a bag, you know, like very small things. Cause that's where I think you get the most interaction with people you don't know.
Tell you, I took my kids into a snow cone place once after school. These snow cones are like $6 each. Ridiculous, man. I'm like $6 each, $18. Now, you know, I can afford it, but it's like, whoo. Walk in one day and I said, hey, how much, you know? Well, I know how much it is, but it's, sir, someone stepped in, came in just a little earlier and they bought your ice cone for you. Huh? They did what? Who was it? They won't let me tell you. They won't let me tell. That was so cool, dude. An hour later, I was at dinner. I bought somebody dinner. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. Like, it's not hard, dude. Starbucks, grab $3 cup of coffee. Hey, whatever that lady wants, make sure she gets it free. But it can't be a lady, though, just a lady. Okay. Hey, that lady over there, 13 back, okay? Make sure you buy her if you get her phone number. It's the guy right behind you, dude. You can't use this for a tapping, a drilling event.
Yeah, it doesn't count. It doesn't count. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have secondary motives, like, hey, I want to get laid tonight. I'm gonna make my wife dinner, and I'm doing a good thing for her.
That's right. That's right.
You horny bastard. You just want to get laid, don't you, son? She'll probably like it if she's on an empty stomach.
That's right. That's right. Well, everybody, we'll see you this evening at 5 for our Twitter Spaces. We'll talk to you very soon, and we'll see you tomorrow as well.
Thank you, Sam. It's so good that I can make you blush again.
Great. See you, everybody.